All right. Well, welcome everybody to this is November, right? November Turkey Month with the snow outside, which it was fun for my kids. Teams Talk Tuesday. Now, typically, again, we meet at the second Tuesday at 2 of each month, but this month I had to push it back 1 week instead of 2. And normally our agenda is we keep it informal. So as we go through, if you guys have ladies have questions, be sure to interrupt me. But the typical agenda is the first part of it, we talk about what's new in teams because we're trying to stay up with teams the best we can, but it's a living being. It's a challenge. And then the second part is usually we highlight one of the applications or a feature in Teams. This month we're not going to do that just because Microsoft just had their Ignite conference where they talk about everything that's new that's coming up for the next year and what's coming out soon, which they have quite a bit of stuff. And then at the end, it's kind of a Q&A if people have any questions. So having said that, let me minimize some stuff behind my screen. I just got off of a training, so I have a bunch of stuff pulled up here. Dismiss, minimize, and minimize. Okay, let me find my virtual machine because I do have a virtual machine running in the background because I can't show you things behind the scenes in Teams while I'm in a Teams meeting. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. That would have been a mistake if I hit leave. I'm also going to turn on my audio sound, my computer sound, because some of the things I'm going to show you will have some sound. I'll show you some videos. There's my virtual machine. I'm going to open up Outlook. One Outlook is it's changing. In case you don't know, if you look at your Outlook application, like I'm in a Windows one, some people, of course, have Macs, and then some people use the cloud. So let me just open up the cloud. And if you use that right now, before this conference, they always say, if you want everything, use the cloud feature of Outlook. So a lot of people use the cloud. It has a different interface, and you had some extra features in the cloud that you may not have had on the desktop. You'll notice here your navigation bar is on the left side, but now they're telling everybody to use the desktop app because what they're doing is making everything more consistent. So now this is the web version. Let me minimize that. This is the desktop version. Up here at the top, and you might see it on your screen. If you see something that says coming soon, it's supposed to be coming out by the end of the year. You can toggle that on and say, I want to try the new version of Outlook. So if I toggle that on, it'll say you need to restart your application, which it doesn't take long to restart it. I'm going to close this down, open it back up. Now Outlook looks more like the web version where you'll see this on the left side. And so they're trying to make everything more consistent. Thank goodness. Because during training, they're like, I don't see that on my Mac, or you're showing on Windows and it looks different on the Mac, which is true. So they're trying to get it more consistent. Another thing I want to show you is when you go up here to Files or File, and if I go to Options, you now have Store My Outlook settings in the cloud. I think Campus has already turned that on by default. This is nice because now when I do my signature is a big thing. If I do my signature on my desktop app and then I go out to the web, it doesn't always hold. Or me, I'm usually on my phone and it always says, hey, you're sending it from your iPhone or something. Well, now your signature is going to follow you. It's kind of like your profile. So your profile will follow you. And the first thing it'll be is it says Outlook settings, and signature is one of them. So that's a nice add to head here. I think there's information here. Yeah, between Outlook apps. The next thing, that's one thing that's new. The next thing that that's coming out, and I haven't tested yet, even though I use bookings, right? If you look at my signature, you can book me for training. So I use the Book Me app a lot. So now they're adding a lot of things to bookings because bookings is getting used for a variety of things, not just, for booking IT. But now you're adding more triggers, and a trigger is something that's used in technical terms with Power Automate. So you can automate processes based on a booking. So somebody books me, I can automate a process and have it do different things. So there'll be more information come out about that. I think that's already available, but then they're going to show a lot of features, things that you can do by using the Bookings app. The next thing is just like Outlook, another application that people use a lot is OneNote. And again, that is different between the desktop, the web version, and if you have Windows 10 or 11. If I click on Start and I type in OneNote, you'll actually get the OneNote that comes with 365. And before that happened, they had OneNote for Windows 10. For the longest time, they said, yeah, use this one here. But then when they came out with this one, people, of course, were like, well, which one do I use? Now they're going back on their word and say, everybody use OneNote here. And again, they're going to make this more consistent between these two. And if you use that, I'm going to bring over my OneNote that I use OneNote all the time. One of the things that you can do in here, let me go down to options here. One of the options is under display, move page list to the left. It's a little thing, but on the web version, you had your notebooks here and your subjects, but then you came over to here to see your pages. And people didn't like jumping back and forth. So they're allowing you to move it over, but they're going to be more consistent with OneNote by just keeping everything the same, whether you're using the web version, the Mac version, or the Office 10 version. But I hopefully soon we won't see the Office 10 or Windows 10 version. You only see OneNote. So that was something that's important. It looks like a little thing, but it was driving me and others nuts. Okay, the next thing I was really excited about this. PowerPoint Live. Let me bring up my virtual machine. So when you're in a meeting, let me just start a new meeting here. I'm in a meeting. I know I'm in a new meeting. Okay, I'm gonna meet now on my virtual machine. Start a meeting. So when you're in a meeting, you can always open up PowerPoint Live. So PowerPoint Live is different. Like if you used to using Zoom or the old way of doing things, we always shared our screen like I'm doing now. I shared my screen and then I would show my PowerPoint. Well, now you're able, and for a while you've been able to do PowerPoint Live. I know I don't have a microphone. So when I go to share, instead of sharing my screen, I can share PowerPoint. And what that will do is embed PowerPoint into your meeting, and people watching, they could translate the transcript. And like if I'm speaking in English, they can make the transcript in their own language, or they can even make the slides. They can translate the slides in their own language. So you see here when I go to share, I can say I want to share this PowerPoint Live. And here's where I was able to share my sound up here. Okay. But what we can do now, and I'll give you an example of that transcript on our, in fact, how about if we do the one that I'm on now? So within your meeting, let me bring this over here. If you go up to more, and you come down here to turn on live captions, like I said, transcript. If you turn on live captions, and I'll say English. So at the bottom of my screen, you'll see those live captions coming on. And then if you look to the right, you'll see 3 dots there. So if I click on those 3 dots, I can say change the spoken language. And I can pick out another language. I'll just say Dutch. So now it'll translate whatever I'm speaking into a different language. So this is not, you used to only could do this with PowerPoint Live. Now I can do it right into any meeting. So it's for people who are more comfortable with a different language. And I could do the same thing with PowerPoint Live. It'll translate the slides. Plus with PowerPoint Live, I can annotate on the slide, and I can allow people to browse ahead on the slide or back up. If I went to the next slide, they're like, I missed that. What did you say? let me put this back to English. This is, I'm struggling trying to talk and seeing the wrong language pop up there. Okay. But each person, again, can have their own transcript and, or, yeah, their own caption. Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you, the exciting thing about what I was wanting to show you, those are little side little things, and I'll come back to, if we have more time, I'll show what else you can do in PowerPoint Live or with meetings. What I was really excited about is I'm going to come down here and let me delete this because I want to show you how you do that. They have just added Cameo, and if you don't see Cameo yet, you will. So if I come up here to insert, I now have an option for Cameo. I'm gonna look at you guys, make sure you can see that. So here's Cameo. What it will do is put a cameo, a video of me, whatever camera I pick, and I'm gonna put it right here. And then up here I can say preview, and I'll pick out which camera I want to use. I'm gonna try this camera over here and see if I can be in this meeting and still have this camera. Okay, let me see if I can turn that on. It's trying. Hello, testing, testing. Let me open up my, I have like 3 cameras. I'm going to open up my laptop camera. We're going to use my laptop camera. Okay. I've been having trouble with that camera, the other camera. So let's let this come back up, and I'm going to say my integrated camera, webcam. Here I am. So now as part of my presentation, and I don't have to have this ugly looking square, I can take this and I can make this a soft oval, and I can make it the same size as this little circle here, or whatever I want to do. And this is just another object in the presentation. So then I could take this and I can copy it, and I can take it to another slide, and I can paste it, and I can move it around. So now when I'm talking to students, you know, I could be here and I could say over, oops, it's on this side, over here, you know. So it's just a way that you can interact better with your students. And people, like in a meeting, people don't have to look at the top of your the video bar where everybody's talking, like in Zoom or Teams. You could be presenting in the meeting. So that is called Cameo. Another thing within Teams, there's a way when you record like this meeting. I'm not sure that the people in the meeting will see what we're seeing on the recording. Stream has not kept up with everything that's going on, all these changes, but you do have a way. Boy, my screen looks, let me shut this down. My screen looks really funny there. Let's get this back to normal. Okay. I do have a way here to this recording studio. It does a really nice job. So you can record a presentation. Let me just hit record here. And again, this is within PowerPoint. When I record here, I'm about to show you the other screen because it pops up on the other window. I'm going to share this screen now. Okay. When I hit record, you'll see it on this window. Okay. So then I could practice recording, and I can even edit my presentation or edit my recording. You can trim it off. You can annotate. So I could use these little pins here, and I could write on my screen. I can go to different slides. So this is a way that you practice your recording. Okay. Start recording. I'm not going to do the recording, but you could play with it. Play with that. The next thing I had, there's a new, if I say insert, there's a new add-in called break time, because people are asking on a long presentation, can we insert like a coffee break or, you know, a lunch break or bathroom break? So let me just get this one out of here. Let me stop this. Okay. So up here at the top, I can insert, if I say get add-in, you can look for break time and do a search, and then you can add that add-in. When you do that, it'll show up under my add-ins. So here I could come to this slide, add a break time, and then on the type, I might say, hey, let's do a a bar break or whatever, whatever kind of break you want, lunch break. And then you set however long you want, say 15 minutes. Then when you come to that slide, all you have to do is start it and it'll count it down for you. So people had asked about that. But the trick is, how in the world do I get this thing off there? I'm having trouble deleting that thing. As soon as I hit it, well, anyway, there's a way to, oh wait, it's right up here. Delete it. All right. Let's see. Record a video chat. And for you guys who use Teams, you might have noticed something a little different in your chat messages now. So if you go to chat, and I'm going to chat with Lisa. Let me move this out of my way. And now I can say, I'm demoing video chat. And this will be new to her too. Evidently, that's not how you spell demoing. May not know what that is. Really? Okay. So, you know what? I'm using my camera for something else. Typically, right here, I can record a video chat. Since I am in a meeting, I cannot do that. Let me see if I have another setting that I can get another video. My meeting is using my camera. Let me check my virtual machine. So if I come to a chat, I just want to see if that message shows up. But what you will see when you're not in a meeting already, you'll see the ability to add a video chat, and I don't have it here either because I'm in the meeting. Okay. But what it shows you can do is click on that, record your meeting, and you can actually send a video chat message to your recipients. Coming soon is the ability, if you right click on this, you'll be able to delay the send. So you could send a message to your boss like at 11 o'clock at night, and they might be impressed that you're working so late or something. See who's in the meeting before joining a meeting. So sometimes you might want to know who's in this meeting. So before you join the meeting, you can click on this meeting and it'll show here who's already in the meeting before you join it. And you might say, oh, Greg is finally in Teams Talk Tuesday this week, so let's go ahead and join the meeting. Assigning seats together in together mode. So together mode, if you're not familiar with that, it's fun. I'm going to drag you all over here to the screen. I'm going to open this up. I see there's 3 of us that have our videos on. So I can go up here and I can go to together mode here. And then since I'm the owner of the meeting, I'll have the option of making together mode for everybody, and I can assign seats so everybody's in the same seat for everyone else. So let me just turn on together mode. And let's find a fun scene here. Let me find a scene here. How about under the water? And I'm going to select together mode. I'm going to make sure everybody's in together mode. So now we're under the together mode. Another thing I can do here is change the scene. And I'll also have the option to, I can create your own scene. I can assign seatings. And I know you all can't, can you all see what I'm doing here? But I can drag and drop people to certain seats. So I'm going to put You two ladies right between me, and we'll go down to the front row here. Let me, oops. Let's take, well, we'll be in the middle row. I'm gonna say, go ahead and assign those seats. Oops, somebody else came in. So I can assign seats. So it's like Shannon's over here, and yeah, Casey's over here. So I can assign seats. I left somebody up top. All right. So, and to get out of the together mode, you all have to get out of together mode on your own. So you have to go to more at the top, the three dots, and you can click back on gallery, and gallery will put us back in the Hollywood Squares. Control F, find a word in, I'm just kind of reading through what's new. This is all things that are new. So if I come down here to, let me move y'all off the screen. If I open up Teams and I come down to chat again, let's say that in this conversation, I have a long thread, but back here it's talking about publications. So rather than looking for that, scrolling through, I can come here and I can hit Control F, and it's going to look in this chat thread to find a word. So I can say, where did we talk about this publications? And then it'll bring up the results here, and then I can click on that. It'll take me to that chat. So because chat threads they go on back to whenever we started having communication. So we hit this X. So that's a good way to find. If you have more than one, of course, it will give you the list of information. Improved interface in Teams meetings whiteboard. Whiteboard it's fun. I'm going to go back to my virtual, and I'm going to have another Teams meeting. And I'm going to say meet now. We'll see how well this works since nobody else is in this meeting. But within Teams meeting, I can create a whiteboard. And again, a whiteboard is a way that we can kind of brainstorm, we can collaborate. So when I share a whiteboard, it says, do you want to just present or do you want to collaborate? Of course, I always want to collaborate with everybody on the meeting. So when I go to share, instead of sharing a screen or PowerPoint Live, I have an option here for a whiteboard. So let's try the whiteboard. And there's new options in whiteboard. So here's the ones, like I can do a new whiteboard and I can set them up ahead of time. I'm just gonna do a new whiteboard. Not gonna wait. It says, do you want to present only you can edit or you want to collaborate? I'm gonna let everybody collaborate and we'll play with this, but I just want to show you what's going on behind the scenes. So we can have online videos. So these are the new features here. Let me scroll down. Here's videos. So I can add online videos to our whiteboard and you just type in the address and this is where you can get them from. You can also do links. So you link to an existing file or web page, and so we can collaborate on that. And then of course Bing images. So that's whiteboard, Bing images, online videos. So being able to pre-create a whiteboard before a meeting, having online videos, and then you have the links and Bing images. Those are all new to whiteboard. So they keep adding to whiteboard. People really seem to like that when you're in a collaborative meeting of brainstorming. All right. The last thing, before Microsoft Ignite, the last thing I have is suggestions in Teams meeting polling. I use polls a lot, and you could set up polling before, let me share my screen. Before your meeting, you can have polling. Let me make sure I get the right screen. Yep. You can have polling available before a meeting, but now they've added a new rankings question within polls, and you can also send the form to a team channel. So let me just say, I don't want to leave the meeting. So here at the top, I can add different applications. So within the meetings, you can get breakout rooms, but under the application, I can add polls. You might see polls or forms, they're the same thing. They just started renaming them polls, but they didn't want the people used to using forms to, I guess, freak out. So when I add polls, it gives you some poll suggestions and all that. But let me just go ahead and save this. So now I'm in my meeting here, and it gives you some suggestions. One of them is a ranking. So this is new. You know, you could rank those. It gives you tips on icebreakers. So they have a lot of suggested polls. You can, you could pick one of those, or you can just always just say, hey, a new poll. So you can get all these ready if you know you're going to be using them, or even during a meeting, you can just pop this up while somebody maybe boring is talking, and you can pick out whatever poll. Here again, there's a ranking one. It even has a word cloud rating. So a lot of different options on your polls. Okay. All right. So that is all we have for what's new. There's a lot that was new, and most of that's because of Microsoft Ignite. But the other 4 things or so I want to show you is some things that were announced at Microsoft Ignite that's coming out, and they have a lot of this is videos. One thing I want to mention is I'm going to stop sharing just because I don't like looking at a screen when I'm trying to talk and want to talk to you all. There's some new hardware, new computers that are out. And typically we don't think the computers are that big of a deal, but the new Surface, a Microsoft Surface hardware. And I was going to talk to university because right now I know they have a deal with Dell and Mac, but in the past we've been able to buy Microsoft Surface hardware. Well, they have a laptop 5 version and a Pro 9. Now, what's so special about these is that they showed one that was completely tore apart. So what that means is they're completely field serviceable. So if you have a laptop that's faulty, they could open it up and they could take out the motherboard and just replace it. So it's an easy way to upgrade rather than buying new computers all the time. They can keep parts on hand, and if somebody's is faulty, they can just swap it out, and then you're not without a laptop, for a good long while. They also have a laptop 5 SE, and that's geared, they said, more toward kids because they're so the kids can destroy them, and the parts are a little bit cheaper. So it's good if you have maybe kids at home in a K-12 environment, or even I think even college students. But they're the SE. You can buy replacement keyboards, LCD screens, so everything is serviceable. Is kind of the way they're going. The one that they really showed is called the Pro 9 5G. It has AI, all artificial intelligence built into it. They were showcasing the noise suppression. They even had like a leaf blower behind a person, and they had a crowd around them, and at that time shouting. And then when they played the recording back, you couldn't hear what was behind them. And they were right next to it wasn't a headset. They were next to it. It was picking up the guy talking, but you couldn't hear anything else behind him. It was really impressive. And they have different designs. Oh, the other thing about the Pro 9 5G, they said it had a 19-hour battery life. Most laptops, they might have, like maybe an 8-hour, 10 if you're lucky. This in here at a 19-hour. I haven't got pricing on that yet, but that's the Surface Pro 9 5G. Let's see. Okay, the other ones I want to share my screen, and I'm going to show you all some videos about what they showed. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a website and I'm going to show you kind of what's new coming out in channels. So if you use Teams, let me open this up and we'll just hop to this, go to this YouTube video. How's that? Okay, let me try the next. Well, I'll just tell you, and hopefully the other ones will work. Typically on a post, you're no longer going to have the new conversation button. What they're doing is they're going to put this, it's going back to the new post. And they had this before, so they had something about new posts at the top when we first got into Teams, and now they changed it to new conversation. Now they're going back to new posts, but they're kind of departmentalizing all the conversations. And once you reply to, I wish I could show you this. Once you reply to a conversation, that part will be at the bottom. So posts were going to look a little different. And it looks like that Microsoft is trying to kind of copycat the format of LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. Some things that people are more familiar with. Something else. Oh, you can also pop out a thread inside of a channel. So let's say that within a conversation, let me go to something more exciting here, Microsoft 365. So within this, so all the thread that talks about shared channels would be together. I can pop that thread out with this next version and multiple threads maybe on the window. So I can, like I can pop out this thread, go to a different channel. I can pop out that thread. It's just a way that you don't have to jump back and forth between teams or channels. You can also brand your channels. Yeah, so within the channel, of course, you have a channel name, but if you're working with communications or something for the university, maybe you want to, at the top here, you want to do a promo for that channel. If you work with vendors and stuff, like for Dell, I can make that give it a Dell promo. Maybe we can get, you know, some financial aid back on that for promoting them. Okay. This next one is really cool. I hope these work. Let me try this one. Yes, Microsoft Designer. So this is artificial intelligence. When I say AI, it's artificial intelligence generated images. So it creates an image that didn't previously exist. So you could type in anything, it'll create an image for you, and it drops it into the new Microsoft Designer. And allows you to edit and create like publications or flyers, advertisements that you can send to social media or save as a picture. They're talking about Skynet a lot. So all the stuff that you generate will be saved out in Skynet. And as far as who owns it, they said for now it's, you know, anybody, you could use it anywhere, but we'll see how that goes. So anyway, here's a little promo for it's called AI Generated Images by Microsoft Designer. Okay, that's kind of hard to follow, but let me just jump back here. You notice here it says it was just a cake, and now it said cake with berries, bread, and pastries for fall, and it generates that image. Okay, just based on what you typed in, and so it's called the DALL-E V2 framework. Is the Skynet predecessor, and let me let me just demo that for you. So you can type in what you want in the picture to be, and it will make the picture. It's called A generation. So let me see if I can type this. It's HTTPS, and you all could try this as well. And it's called Labs OpenAI.com. Labs OpenAI.com. DALL-E 2. So you can see some examples: an astronaut, teddy bears, a bowl of soup. But I think there's a place up here that we can just log in. Let me look here. Welcome to DALL-E, create your own, generate. So you get 50 free cards during your first month, and 15 credits will refill every. Okay, this is because we don't have a license for that yet. So this is something. So you could type in anything you want here, and it'll generate that that image. So I could say like a black and gold. I don't know what this is going to do. Tiger, if I could type. Growling on a football field. I don't know. What's that look like? So it's generating just from the words that I typed in. Okay, that was pretty cool. So then I could go and edit that, and like I said, it's not like they took a tiger and put that on an image. It just generated it based on what I typed. So that is called Microsoft Designer. And then when I save it, sorry about that, I can share this. And then when I save it, it will take it to, I'm going to try edit. I can edit it here. But eventually it will take it to Microsoft Designer, where I could do that. But again, if you could play with that, labs.openai.com, and it will take you to that. I'm going to try this channels one more time. I don't, unless I copied something wrong, but I've used this link before. Oh, all right. Well, here's the channels. It's decided to work. So here's the new demonstration on channels. Again, you'll see here, it's going to group them, and the new post will be at the top. When you reply to something, the reply will be at the bottom, and I'll try to pause this as needed.
The new layout has recent posts at the top, so users can easily catch up on the latest conversations, contribute to discussions, and pop them out so they can get back to them quickly. Start new conversations, choosing from a range of new post types, pin important posts for quick reference, and find key information in the info pane, like members, shared files, and more. And you can now also create customized channel headers.
All right, I guess she did a good job explaining that. Yeah, the channel headers.